This morning, I heard news that made me shudder. A man, aged between 70 and 50, full of life and energy, suddenly lost consciousness right in his home, without pain, without warning. He was on his feet as usual, took just a couple of steps, and then the unforeseen happened. What occurred? Doctors explained. It was a mistake, simple and almost innocent. The most frightening part is that this mistake is made daily by millions of people over the age of 70, perhaps even you. And it may have been happening for several years. We often underestimate the morning, thinking that if we have woken up, everything is fine. However, it is precisely in the first minutes after waking that events can occur that affect the entire day, and sometimes even the rest of our lives. One wrong step, one forgotten detail, one oversight, and everything can turn into a fall, a hypertensive crisis, or something even worse. Today, I will talk about 7 morning mistakes made by people over the age of 70. Some of them may seem trivial, but the consequences can be extremely serious. And most importantly, I will show how easily these risks can be avoided without changing your entire life, but simply by adjusting your morning habits. Pay special attention and watch until the end, because the 5th mistake, strangely enough, is considered the most harmless. But it turns out that it insidiously undermines the health, energy, and even mood of thousands of elderly people. First, 1 minute that changes everything. You wake up, everything seems ordinary, the room is quiet, dawn is breaking outside. Your body is not fully awake yet, but you are already thinking about the tasks ahead. The habit takes over. Many people quickly get up to hide it, but suddenly a strange feeling arises. Your head feels empty, the floor seems to vanish beneath your feet, and you have to grab onto the nightstand. Usually, this lasts only a few seconds. It may seem trivial, but behind this triviality lies a threat that is rarely discussed, not because it is rare, but rather because it has become too common. There is a physiological mechanism that, with age, does not function as it used to. When you are lying down, blood is distributed in the body differently than when you are in a vertical position. And if you stand up suddenly, the heart simply does not have time to quickly pump it to the brain. The result is a brief period of oxygen deprivation. The brain does not like surprises, especially not these. This condition is called orthostatic hypotension. It is not a disease, but a reaction of the body, especially after the age of 60 or 70. But if it is not taken into account, it can lead to a fall. And a fall leads to a hospital, a cast, limitations, and fear of every morning. The most insidious part is that a person may not even remember how they fell. They wake up already on the floor. Doctors encounter such cases daily, and yet they can be prevented literally in 1 minute. Without medication, without doctors, without effort. It is about a simple morning pause, not about meditation or exercise. Waking up with respect for your body is how you should start the day. Do not jump up as if you are late. Allow yourself at least half a minute to enjoy waking up. It is time to feel your feet and make a few movements with your legs. At first, I found it difficult to take such a pause. Previously, I would jump up at the sound of a signal. But after one unpleasant incident, when I felt weakness and darkness in my vision, I realized that it was not just fatigue. It was a warning. Now, I begin my mornings with conscious awakening, and I have never regretted it. Transitioning from sleep to activity is like crossing a bridge. You either walk carefully, watching your steps, or you run with your eyes closed. The second option is always a risk if you do not change your habits. And the most amazing thing is that when you start doing everything right, your body rewards you with lightness, clarity, and confidence. Let your morning begin with respect. Do not rush. First, feel the ground beneath your feet, and only then take a step. This is not weakness, but wisdom that comes not with age, but with attention to oneself. The second quiet mistake that many make even before breakfast is that morning arrives, and someone immediately goes to the stove, someone to the kettle, but most reach for their usual cup of coffee. But where is the glass of water? It seems to disappear from sight, even though it can be the most important drink of the entire day. At night, the body works even while you sleep. The heart pumps blood, the lungs provide breathing, and the kidneys filter. All of this requires fluid. But with every exhale, with every drop of sweat, with every movement in sleep, you lose water. You dehydrate and do not notice that a deficit has already formed inside. The most dangerous part is that you do not feel thirsty. After the age of 70, the body stops sending strong signals. There is no dryness in the mouth, no feeling of thirst, creating the illusion that everything is fine. In reality, the blood becomes thicker, blood pressure may rise, and the heart has to work under strain. Many acquaintances have told me, "I just do not have the habit of drinking in the morning," or "I do not feel like it." But the body does not care whether you want to or not. It simply needs water. If you do not help it, it silently continues to fight until it gives up. Starting the morning with water, just a few sips, I felt how my clarity of mind changed. The morning feeling that my mind had not yet awakened disappeared. There was lightness in my body, and even my digestion began to work like clockwork. The secret is to make water a part of your morning ritual, as important as brushing your teeth. I leave a glass of water next to my phone or glasses in the evening so I do not forget, and to remind myself. The body needs it. Some add lemon, some a couple of drops of honey. That is not so important. The main thing is the water. It not only quenches thirst, but also kickstarts metabolism, reduces blood viscosity, and helps all internal systems to activate gently and without overload. If you take medication in the morning, it is even more important not to forget about water. It aids absorption, reduces side effects, and lessens the load on the stomach and liver. This is not just grandmother's advice. It is science, simple and precise. By starting your day with a simple glass of water, you initiate a chain of positive changes. You have already made the choice in favor of health and self-awareness, and then everything else will fall into place. It is the third day. This familiar morning ritual may secretly undermine your health. The aroma of coffee fills the air, and this scent is associated with awakening, comfort, and the beginning of something important. Many cannot imagine a day without that first cup of strong, aromatic, invigorating coffee. It seems to awaken the mind. But what if I told you that this ritual could be working against you, especially after a long night? When you wake up, you are in the most vulnerable state and ready to face the day. Your body is like a battery running low. Your blood sugar is low. Your energy reserves are depleted, and your stomach is empty. And at this moment, you pour a liquid filled with acid and stimulants into your system, without any protection. And you expect the day to start off well. Many do not realize that coffee is not just a delicious drink, but a complex chemical cocktail. It stimulates acid production in the stomach. If the stomach is empty, the acid acts directly on its walls, which over time can lead to heartburn, irritation, and gastritis. And if these problems already exist, they become exacerbated. Additionally, coffee sharply increases cortisol levels, the stress hormone. This is not just a little boost, it is an accelerated heartbeat, a rush in the body, spikes in blood pressure. This is especially dangerous for those prone to anxiety or cardiovascular issues. So what should you do? Completely give up coffee? No, that is not necessary. The solution is much simpler. Give your body some support. Eat something, even just a little. A few nuts, half a banana, a slice of bread. That is enough to get your digestive system working so that the acid does not eat away at your empty stomach. I used to drink coffee on an empty stomach. It became a habit, an automatic morning ritual. But then I started to notice changes: irritability, heaviness in the stomach, sometimes a slight anxiety for no reason. Only by changing my habit and drinking coffee only after a small snack did I notice a difference. Another important point is that when you eat something before coffee, your body processes it more gently. Caffeine is absorbed more slowly without sharp spikes. This means more stability, more calmness, and surprisingly, more benefits from the drink itself. Even those who are not used to having breakfast can make this small adjustment. You do not need a big plate. You just need to protect yourself. This is not a compromise. It is care for your digestion, hormonal balance, and overall well-being. And finally, coffee is a pleasure. Do not turn it into a source of stress. Make it part of your morning harmony, not a cause of discomfort. Drink coffee not on an empty stomach, but with internal support. Then its aroma will taste better, and you will feel lighter. The fourth point is that when your body says to wait, and you do not listen, as you age, mornings change. They become not just the beginning of the day, but a time when your body is especially vulnerable. You open your eyes and immediately feel that everything is not quite the same as it used to be. The back feels slightly stiff, the knees seem wooden, and the neck feels as if it has fallen asleep. This is not pain, but a sensation of tightness. Many do not notice it, and that is a mistake. It is quite simple. While you were sleeping, your body remained in one position. The muscles are relaxed, blood flow is slowed, and the joints are functioning in an economical mode. The fluid that nourishes the cartilage circulates more slowly. This is natural, but if you suddenly start moving after this, you disrupt the natural rhythm of awakening. Some elderly people immediately begin to move actively after waking up. They go to the kitchen, bend down, sit, and lift something that has fallen. And at these moments, unpleasant incidents often occur because the body is not yet ready. It is like trying to start a car in the cold without preheating it. Yes, it may start, but with wear and tear. Such movements are especially dangerous for the spine, hips, and knees. In areas where there are already age-related changes, compression, dryness, and friction, any movement without preparation can lead to microtrauma. As a result, acute pain, inflammation, and loss of mobility may arise. But there is no need for gymnastics or stretching like athletes do. A few simple movements are sufficient. They do not require effort, a mat, or even getting up. You can warm up your toes, feet, neck, and shoulders right from a lying position. It is like gradually turning on the light, instead of blinding your eyes with a flash. For example, I start with the simplest circular movements of my feet. Then I move on to my fingers, neck, shoulders, and only then do I sit up. And even at that moment, I do not immediately stand up. First, I rotate my shoulders, raise my arms up, and stretch my back. This is not an exercise, but a greeting to the body, and it feels it. One of the most noticeable effects is the stability of my gait. I used to often feel that my legs did not obey me in the mornings. Now it is different. The muscles work in sync, and you feel truly ready to move, rather than dragging yourself along by inertia. There is also a pleasant side effect: clarity in the mind. When you move your body consciously, you awaken not only the muscles, but also the nervous system. This activates attention, focus, and even memory, as if everything inside falls into place. This approach provides not only physical stability, but also internal stability. The day begins not with chaos, but with a sense of control. And this is especially important when you are no longer 40 and not even 50. You cannot afford to rush, but you can afford to live wisely. Gradually, you wake up feeling invigorated, not only in body, but also in spirit. There is one detail that almost no one notices. It does not cause pain, does not interfere with breathing, and does not throb in the temples. But it is where well-being, gait, and even mood begin. It is posture. It sets the tone for your body, even if you do not think about it. An elderly person wakes up, slowly gets up from bed, sits on the edge and bends over, shoulders forward, neck lowered, back arched. This is habitual. It seems natural, but it is at this moment that a cascade of changes begins. Changes that almost no one talks about. When you sit hunched over, your chest is compressed, and this reduces the volume of your breath, leading to less oxygen entering your body. When the brain starts to work slowly, feelings of lethargy and sluggishness arise, making everything around you seem complicated. This is not about age, but rather a consequence of a compressed body that cannot breathe freely. And it is not just about the lungs. Slouching and posture negatively affect digestion. The organs are literally squeezed and lack space. The stomach begins to digest food more slowly. The intestines function sluggishly, leading to bloating, cramps, and constipation, all due to a position you have held for just a few minutes. Let's move on. It has been scientifically proven for a long time that posture affects mood. Yes, simply straightening your back can make you feel more confident, calmer, and even more energetic, as the body and mind are connected. How you move influences how you think. The reverse effect also applies. When you stand up straight, lift your chin and look ahead, something inside you shifts. The feeling of aging disappears, and a sense of strength emerges. This is not mere suggestion, but a biological reaction. As your chest opens up, your breathing becomes full, and blood flow to the brain improves. This is real. What is particularly unfortunate is that people become accustomed to slouching, and it becomes part of their identity. But if we take a moment to imagine how you look from the outside, you will want to stand up straight. Not just for appearance's sake, but for the feeling of being firmly grounded. But how can this be corrected if the body is no longer flexible, if it is compressed, and the muscles are weak? It all starts in bed. Before getting up, stretch, imagining that the crown of your head is reaching for the ceiling, as if you are a string stretched from your tailbone to the back of your head. This creates the right mindset even before your first step. When you sit down, place both feet on the floor, feel the support, gently roll your shoulders back, but not abruptly. Keep your chin parallel to the floor and take a deeper breath. This all takes about 20 seconds, but in those seconds, you are telling your body, I am ready, I am not old, I am not fragile, I am ready. Then stand up slowly. Take your time, imagining that an invisible thread is pulling you upward, your stomach slightly toned, your back straight. At that moment, you are not just standing, you are aligning your entire day because the first movement sets the tone for the rest of the day. At first, this may feel unfamiliar and even a bit strange. Sitting up straight and looking ahead may seem odd, but over time, this will become your morning anchor, your support, as if you are reclaiming the strength lost over the years of slouching. The main thing is that this is not about youth, but about dignity. Your back, your resilience, your posture, your inner state. If every morning you start with an upright body, you will gradually adjust your mindset as well. This is how a truly good morning begins. There are things you do not do every morning, and you lose your balance. There are habits that we notice immediately, such as having a cup of coffee or brushing our teeth, and then there are those that go unnoticed because they are absent. We do not perform them, yet their absence affects the quality of our lives more than it seems. Let's take a moment to reflect. How much time in the morning do you dedicate to your feet? Not the steps that lead you to the kitchen, but genuine attention to your soles, calves, and knees. Usually, we do not think about this. We get up and go, as if our bodies should automatically switch on. However, after the age of 70, it is no longer that simple. Our legs are our foundation. They provide us with stability, a sense of control, and the ability to maintain balance. Yet, as we age, the muscles in our legs weaken, the sensitivity of the receptors in our soles decreases, and the brain processes signals about our body's position in space more slowly. Until a fall occurs, this remains unnoticed. Often, people say they tripped or that their legs let them down, but this is not a coincidence. It is the result of a cumulative lack of attention to our legs. They are like the wheels of a car. If we do not take care of them, they do not puncture immediately, but they lose pressure over time. I have noticed myself that after waking up, My legs feel as if they belong to someone else, unresponsive, as if they are made of cotton. It feels as though I am placing my foot in the wrong spot. This is not fear or weakness, but a signal that the connection between the brain and the body has weakened and needs to be restored. Not with pills, but with massage and movement. Every morning, I dedicate just a couple of minutes to regain control of my legs. While still in bed, I make circular movements with my feet, lift my toes up, squeeze them, and lift my heels off the floor. This is not just exercise, it is a dialogue with my body, and it responds. I get up in the mornings, but I do not rush to set off immediately. First, I rise slowly, keeping my heels on the floor, slightly bending my knees, and becoming aware of how my body weight is distributed. Sometimes I close my eyes for a moment to focus on my balance. This is a kind of training for maintaining balance, gentle and unobtrusive. You will be surprised at how much better you feel after such minutes at the beginning of the day. The unsteadiness disappears, your gait becomes more confident, and the sensation of floating in the air vanishes. It is like reclaiming the support that has started to slip away. Most importantly, it helps prevent unwanted consequences. On average, after the age of 70, the main cause of fractures is falls, which most often occur at home in the morning, in seemingly safe conditions. If the morning begins with a focus on stability and a sense of support, the day unfolds differently. You walk confidently, move calmly, feel less anxiety inside, and reduce the risk that something will go wrong. We are not taught to feel our legs. No one tells us that in the morning we should check our balance, but it is more important than it may seem. This is what determines whether you will be able to walk as confidently in 1 year, 5 years, or 10 years. Start small. In the morning, look down, feel what you are standing on, and connect with your legs. This is not a trivial matter. It is the foundation, and strengthening it strengthens everything else. Waking up in the dark, you slowly come to your senses. You open your eyes, and everything around you is gray and dull, as if you are in a room with tightly closed curtains. Perhaps you turn on a lamp, but only later when you are in the kitchen. Your brain still thinks that night is continuing. Morning light is not just a convenience. It is a signal for your body that the day has begun. It is like a start button for all systems: your brain, hormones, and mood. Without light, this button does not activate, or it activates with a delay, and the entire day does not go as it should. In adulthood, biological clocks begin to operate differently. They find it harder to adapt to changes in rhythm. If you remain in darkness in the morning, these clocks become completely misaligned. This leads to chronic fatigue, morning drowsiness, anxiety, poor sleep at night, and lethargy during the day. Many people wonder why they sleep poorly despite feeling tired, why they feel sleepy during the day but cannot fall asleep at night. The answer often lies in the absence of light in the morning. It is the morning sunlight that triggers the production of serotonin, which in the evening transforms into melatonin, the sleep hormone. If there is no light in the morning, then there is no normal sleep at night either. This is a simple yet insidious chain. And it all starts with the habit of staying in semi-darkness, not opening the curtains, and not letting light into the room. It may seem trivial, but it is in the details that health is lost. I noticed a change in my morning state when I began to open the curtains immediately, without delay, sometimes even without getting up, simply reaching out and pulling aside the drapes. Light penetrates your eyes, your skin, your brain, saying, "Wake up." You might think that your home is dark and there is little light, but even diffused light outside provides the necessary signal for your body. The main thing is that it exists, even if it is not a sunny ray. Even through the clouds, it still works. The key is not to hide from the morning. There is another interesting point. When you receive light in the morning, your psyche begins to function differently. Research shows that morning light reduces anxiety levels and even symptoms of depression. It helps the brain gain clarity and emotional resilience. Consider how many years you might live in a state of delayed awakening simply because you did not allow light to enter the room in time. Years of foggy thoughts and lack of sleep, all because you did not open the curtains. The solution is incredibly simple. Make light a part of your morning ritual. First, open the curtains, then take a breath, and only then get up. You can even step out onto the balcony for a minute, if possible, to connect with the day. Light is not just a background. It is nourishment for the brain, as important as water, movement, and proper posture. Do not wait for your body to figure out that it is morning. Show it. Then the day will become clearer, calmer, and more invigorating. Each morning is like a new starting point. You can wake up and repeat everything out of inertia without thinking, or you can slow down a bit, feel yourself, and take a conscious step. In this way, you will change not only your morning, but also your entire day, and perhaps your life. You are not powerless against time. On the contrary, it is with age that the power of choice emerges. I no longer desire hustle, rush, or futile efforts, but rather precision and simple yet effective solutions. We cannot stop time, but we can learn to move within it correctly, supporting ourselves, not ignoring the signals of our bodies, but listening to them. Instead of playing at youth, we should build our health on maturity and understanding. All the habits I have discussed today are not rules. They are reminders that your body is your ally. If you give it a little care from the very morning, it will respond with confidence and resilience and a clear mind.